Well, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon. You are now watching the greatest with the best, I think. The best host is with the mostest, and that's myself, E.V.E, and of course, my co host, Sam. Yay. Good afternoon from where you are, Sam.
Thanks,
And
Eve. It's good
yeah,
to
you
be.
guys,
It's good
yeah, no, it's
to
an
be talking to
exciting
my
day.
friends.
You know, we're here about informing people, right, Sam? This is the interview with Rahab's daughters, of course, with EVE and wonderful, amazing powerhouse over there, Sam. We're here to educate you and bring awareness to you once a week with short videos, longer videos, depending on the topic, depending on the importance of what I think we're going to bring everything that's important to family. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, listen, I talk to moms every day, and we'll be interviewing one in the coming weeks whose daughters have been trapped in human trafficking now for almost a decade. And she is struggling to locate them to get them out and get enough assistance from law enforcement and other agencies to try to help with this. And listen, our Moms Against Trafficking was set up exactly for this, right? For moms whose kids have had experiences in trafficking, but also for us to teach moms how to prevent trafficking in their communities and how to recognize it, right? And this is a huge part of what's necessary. At the end of the day, people think that it's stranger danger that's the problem. But you and I know it's acquaintance danger that's the
I'm telling
bigger
you.
here.
Yeah, I mean, we're chuckling now, but in all seriousness, I was just telling Sam earlier that I was at an event during the week, as a matter of fact, and I was happy to see parents coming to our booth asking for information. Some were familiar with what human trafficking somewhat was, and we got to talk to their young daughters, 11, 12, 13, and I chuckled with what I heard because most parents, I was one of them, you teach your child not to talk to strangers. And that's the first thing that these moms, several of them were like, oh yeah, strangers. And I looked at them. I said, "Well, that's the issue. It's mostly someone that they know and not a stranger." And just like, "Huh? What? Talk about that, Sam."
Listen, most traffickers are known to the individual. It's less than 15% of trafficking victims that are kidnapped by people that they don't know. The largest majority of victims know their trafficker ahead of time. And I was actually teaching human trafficking 101 over the weekend, and I met another survivor, and she came through the foster care system. And Eve, when I told her the stats, around 1 in 7 foster care kids end up being trafficked at some point during their time in foster care, she's like, "Don't be ridiculous, Sam. That number is much, much higher than that." And I said, only reported cases can I talk about, and those numbers are coming from NECMEC, right? And are the sort of numbers that we know about. I completely agree that the level of human trafficking within our foster care systems globally is much higher than we want to discuss. But
Hmm.
even 1 in 7 is too many, right?
Very
Furthermore,
much.
in North America, we tend to lose approximately 1% of our foster care kids every year. How do you lose a kid? I don't know, but it happens. And I'm told quite often by foster care agencies and governmental institutions that these are the bad kids, these are the runaways, these are the throwaways. But I disagree. I believe that these are the most needy of them all who are left out by the system, right? When you talk to foster kids, and we talk to a lot of them as we run Brave and Audacious and some of our prevention programming that's aimed at helping foster care kids to prevent being trafficked. And Moms Against Trafficking is a big piece of that puzzle. What we find is that the moms against trafficking uncovers so many cases of trafficking, incest, molestation, and all sorts of things because it's happening right under people's noses and they don't know how to predict it. So, you know, one of the biggest things I say to parents and foster parents is notice behavioral changes in your kids. Oh, well, they're just having, teenage angst or different types of, becoming a teenager type things. Maybe, maybe not. Sometimes when you see behavioral change in your children, you can't just chalk it up to teenage growing up, growing pains, etc. Because a lot of times, especially if it's major change, something has caused that trauma to occur in their lives, right? And if they're acting out, if they're behaving differently, if you're seeing changes in the patterns, changes in the friends, you've got to investigate further, folks. It's not enough to just say, oh, they're just becoming a teenager.
Right, right.
That is not what most of the time this is, right? Occasionally it is, they're just becoming a teenager. But what we find is if somebody's behavior, attitudes, things change drastically, something else is happening. Is it bullying? Is it what is what you guys have to come out with? Because just chalking it up to, oh, my child's becoming a tween or a teen or whatever, not enough, guys. Today trafficking's happening right under your noses, right? Kids are telling you they're going to soccer games when they're really being trafficked. Kids are telling you they're going to dance camp when they're really being trafficked. And you don't understand that the way trafficking looks today isn't the way it looked before.
No.
You're not kidnapping your children and taking them away. They're trafficking them right under your nose, right? And there's so many situations in which foster care kids are telling us about what's happening, but the kids don't have to be in foster care to be groomed, right? If your kids are online in any way, shape, or form, the chances of grooming are growing. And we know that sextortion in the United States, according to NCMEC, so the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, have proven that it's 7,200% growth in sextortion in the United States.
7,200%. Did I hear you right, Sam?
Yes.
Parents, families, you listening? What she just said, 7,200% here in the United States.
And rest of world is 394% according to the UN.
Wow.
That's quite staggering. And to be fair, rest of world is only lower because they don't have access to the number of devices and internet the way that we have in the United States.
And you know what? One thing I want to add to what you just said, Sam, with children, not necessarily in the system, but let me tell you, moms, because you're mostly the ones involved with your kids, and dads, I know some of you are awesome dads, but all of you have that boyfriend that they say they have because they feel that now they're loved, now they're, because they seek attention. Probably and correct me if I'm wrong, Sam, the easiest to be preyed on, because now it's the I love you, babe. Can you take a picture of yourself? But well, we're so silly and stupid in love, right? And we take a picture and then we send it through. What happens with that? What can happen with that?
I mean, unfortunately, AI can be used for good, as we do here, and it can be used for bad. And we're going to have a whole show just on that, Eve. But the bottom line is, if you put something out, even if you're fully clothed, you can be taken advantage of. And that's what sextortion and cyberbullying are all about, right? So cyberbullying's definition is the fact that you are being bullied online, just not naked. And sextortion is all about the naked pictures being used to extort you. And they're equally bad, guys. So if I make you into, I don't know, a singing hippopotamus or octopus or something, and have you doing ridiculous things and then push that out on the internet, that's one thing, and it's definitely bullying. But if I take that same platform and take your clothes off of you, whether it's recording or not, and post that, and it's so much more of a problem, right? And we really have to think about this as parents. And this is where Moms Against Trafficking, joining us and being a part of the solution to this problem, is critical, because our communities need to learn, what does trafficking look like really, and then how can we as parents stop it? Because at the end of the day, folks, knowledge is power, right? And getting that knowledge into our communities is critical. So if you want to be an ambassador to get this information out into the community, please hit volunteer on our website, because we need a significant number of moms and women to get out there and spread this message, and dads and men to get out there and spread this message as community ambassadors, because there's no way for us to get the word out without having ambassadors in every corner of the world.
Exactly, exactly.
And our movement in Moms Against Trafficking is really to get moms involved so that we can help. But if you're a grandma, auntie, and you can still join the movement. If you have no kids at all and just feel called to this, please join the movement, because at the end of the day, it is you learning about what's happening and then spreading the word that's going to absolutely make the greatest impact in preventing human trafficking and sextortion from. And if we want that 7,200% to go down, guys, then it's going to take all of us working together to get that to happen. Because here's the thing. 83% of children born into women who are being used as sex slaves are going to be abused. They're going to be trafficked. We know this for a fact. And we have plenty of moms in our program who have had their kids trafficked, not because they wanted it, but because they were born into them at a time that they were being trafficked. And then we see pregnant women want to trafficking all the time because they definitely want change, right? And so this is a place, folks, that you can help, and we look forward to seeing that help happen. Even we're out of time for this topic today, but worry not.
Michelle. No, that's fine. I think this is just a quick eye opener rather for moms, dads, mainly moms. We want you to join the movement, Moms Against Trafficking. Not to say don't trust your child, but don't trust who they're with as easily. So this is your hostess, mostess, and that these are beautiful. Obviously, the founder, Rahab's daughter, and yours truly, E.V.E. Until next week, we hope that you have gained some knowledge today. Continue and share these videos because it's just powerful, but let's use that knowledge for our good and to keep our children safe. With that, we'll see you next time. We'll see you, Sam.